Hello everyone, this is Nervous Breakdown. I'm here to talk about a product I purchased not too long ago. It's a capture device. It's called the AGPTek capture device. It's a USB 3.0. It's a small little red box. I think it's half red, half black, and or blue. And this is a pretty cool card. This is found on Amazon.com. You can find it at Amazon.com. I'll have a description where to get this below the video, and this is under $100. You know, I think it's like $97 US dollars, and this is a pretty cool device because this is one of the things always wanted to do, is able to stream and to able to play the game. Now, one of the things I did not like was how it was coming out of the console. Now, I have the Xbox One X Scorpio Edition, and I love the console, and it's great. One of the things I used to do before, when I was streaming, I was able to use the Windows 10 app. There are some problems with that, trying to do that. You have to make sure you meet all the requirements to do that, and even then, it's a little hard to affect that. You're pushing an app that you're streaming, not capturing, but streaming technically. That's already taking resources. Windows 10 is already heavy on taking resources. Then you have that going at the same time, and then not only that, but then you have to rebroadcast that thing out of OBS or something like that to get it out to the public. I ran like that for like maybe a year. I did okay. It was 720p. It was able to reach 60 frames, and it's not like it's a huge amount. But the only problem with the streaming is that it leaves a lot of I don't know the term they call that, but it's like almost pixelated. Like if you move fast, it gets pixelated pretty bad. So that was my biggest grip, and sometimes I never know when the app decides to crash or something goes wrong with Windows 10. And that was becoming a problem for me, and I had to find a solution. Now, there are some benefits though having that app on Windows 10, where I can do my friend list right there on Windows 10, or I can do it on Xbox Live, but on the dashboard. But it's to the point where I need to figure something out. So I wanted to get a capture card. I finished building my computer, which is fantastic. You know, I have a nice AMD processor with 16 gigs of RAM, a decent video card. I don't really play PC games, but I love console gaming. So what I end up doing is I end up purchasing this card. I was reading a lot. People were so-and-so about it, but it was more people saying the card was good. You know, the actual device was better than the others. One guy had a video out. He's saying that it was misleading. I'll get back to him later on that. And the thing is that this card, it depends how you go about with this. Now, there's nothing dramatic really per se to install this. I mean, technically, you got to have two HDMI. One's got to come from the Xbox into that device, and then one's going back out into the monitor or a TV. And then the USB 3.0 is at the other end of that device, and then it has to plug to a 3.0 version of the USB on the back of your PC or whatever you want to put it. It cannot be. I don't think it will work on a 2.0. It needs a 3.0 to get the best quality there is. Once you install it, you install the OBS. Now, my experience for Windows 10 OBS was a bit of a problem, and it was more of a when I tell it to find the capture card and did end up finding it, it showed the video. It was perfectly fine, but then within 5 seconds it started glitching, and then it stopped, and it glitched again, then stopped, and so the video was driving me crazy. The sound was perfectly fine because OBS was able to pick it up no problem. I didn't have to do an extra work, but the glitch was driving me crazy. I couldn't take it. So the other feature they told me I could use was VLC. I ended up installing that for Windows 10, and it did pick up, but there was like a slight hiccup in the video. You know, it wasn't as dramatic as the OBS. OBS was really bad, but that was a bit little bit glitchy. Now I know it's not the computer, and the reason I know that because I did some tests on it. So I was like, okay, let me see what else is in there. And there are a few other options they have in the box that I can try, but some of them are requires to purchase, and I'm not about to purchase anything. I already bought enough as it is. So, you know, one was like Adobe Capture type. The other one was like an Apple capturing software, and then there was one called I think it's called vMix. And I tried vMix. Now vMix was pretty decent. I picked it up, you know, I installed it, and then I tried it. Now it captured everything and sound all together, but it would not push 60 frames. Even though I ended up telling it to do it, it did not look like 60 frames. It was like, I don't know, it was like it's running like above 30, but maybe 40, and that's about it. It was clean, it was really nice, but it wasn't working for me. So I was getting a little worried that maybe the guy in the video, that one video, you'll see him in Amazon, and that I was a bit worried that he might be right. And then, you know, good thing that, you know, I've been a technician for so long, you know, I decided to install Linux Mint as, you know, part of my drive. So I end up installing Linux Mint. I kept Windows just in case. So I, you know, did like have partitioned the operating system. And when I installed that, the Linux Mint, I went to the, you know, to the terminal. I put in the latest version of the OBS. There's another feature I think you have to add in there, like some sort of I think it's some sort of codec type format to make sure it runs seamless. And once I'm able to apply those two, I open up the OBS, I tell it to look for my capture card, and it found it. No problem, no video glitch, nothing. It ran exactly the way I wanted it to run. The only thing I had to tell it to make sure that that capture card is moving at 60 frames, and I had to tell OBS I want everything to be done at 60 frames. I put it up. Usually they tell you always put the, you know, the base, you know, the base for the video at 1080p, but you want it to run 720 to broadcast. And I was like, well, it says it can do 1080p, so I tried it. So I did it 1080p. You know, I had to mess with the settings for the CPU, you know, to make it very fast. I had to install it, and I had to apply it to a very fast mode. And once I did that, it was like a perfect fit. Like it was just the amount I needed, and it ran fine. And I was able to play like tons of games, like easily, no problem. For the sound though, when you run Linux Mint, you gotta add another feature into Linux Mint. Is the audio capture device, which you have to point that towards, again, to the capture card, so that way you can hear it. As you're seeing right now, the main screen, the Halo 5 screen, that is running on Linux OBS version with the capture card. As you can see, it's moving just perfectly fine. It runs at 60 frames, no issue. I was playing tons of Fortnite as well, and that was running with no problem, you know, and I was really happy with the results. So I think it comes down to how you approach the device, because again, I ran it with Linux Mint and it did everything for me. I think the step for me to do that was a far more easier than Windows. So I end up just like reformatted again. Got rid of Windows because I really, again, I don't play PC. It has all the application I need in Linux, so I got rid of everything else and installed Linux Mint from ground up, and was happy from that point on. You know, even this microphone I'm talking, I purchased this from Amazon, and I think I'll put this in the bottom of the link as well, underneath the video. It's called Fi-Fine technology. It's a really nice USB plug and play that works for Linux as well, because that's what I wanted to plug and play, not just for Windows, but I wanted to plug and play any device for any operating system in case I ever decide to jump or so. And don't get it wrong, Windows 10 is a great operating system. It's really good. It's part of my job when I go to work. You know, I have to work against that operating system all the time to make sure I provide, you know, the service I need for the user ends when they need to get online to sign in their credentials and things like that with their Active Directory and things, you know, that in that nature. But at home, what I have here is perfectly fine. Now, if Microsoft was smart, they would have created an operating system just for gamers, which they'll make it an extremely low, resource type OS, bare bones, nothing that runs in and out, just the operating system, the core operating system, and then whatever we want to put on. That would be great for gamers. They'll be eating that up, but I'm okay with this, and again, serves my purpose. Again, this is running on an OBS, no problem. I love it, every minute of it. And again, it's been fantastic. Like, I really enjoy it, and this is pretty much it. I rated this thing 5 out of 5, and that's that's just my experience. So if you have any concern, any questions, trying to figure out how, if you want to get it set up like what I have, trying to set it up to that way it will work for you. Because again, there were some things I had to figure out for Linux to make this work. I had to figure out the echo problem that I was having between, using the desktop audio on OBS, the capture device, the audio capture device, and the microphone. I had to play with the settings to make sure that there was no echo. Because when I first started this, there was a huge echo, and it was just like overlapping until I figured what I needed to do to configure that problem, and I was able to resolve that. So now everything's working flawless the way I want it to be, just perfect. So right now, even this video you're watching, this was done under using the OBS, and I think I'm using the software. It was like a video editor software. I think it's called Ken Live. I think it's called Ken Live or Den Live. I don't know if the K silence or the D, but it's a really good application I'm using for video editing. So again, if you have any questions, I'm going to put up my card right now, and you're going to see, you can reach me in these platforms. You can reach me on Mixer, Twitch. You can also get a hold of me on YouTube, Twitter, and of course, I'm one of the members of the Union Video Game Forum. So I'm going to let you go. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. And again, if you have any questions, reach me anywhere on Mixer, like I said, or any of those platforms there, or put a comment below on the YouTube video, and I'll try to answer best I can to give you the best information to approach. But I can tell you, as far as this product go, it is a buy. It's for sure. I don't have any regrets. It works perfectly the way I want it to be. All right, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.